why right now is a great time to buy real estate, and why it might be a horrible time to buy real estate. This Investing in Georgia, my name is Alan. This is all from my specific experience in the Northwest Atlanta, all the way up to Northwest Georgia areas in the median and below price points. So 400,000 or 350,000 and below. We're looking for investment properties and properties that are wise investments. So areas I'm talking about are for like Jasper, Canton, Ackworth, Woodstock, Cartersville, Adairsville, up to Calhoun, Georgia, going up 75. So we're going to start off with why it's a great time to buy because, of course, number one, this is a buyer's market, which means the buyers have the power. There are fewer buyers in the market. You don't have other competition from buyers. People selling houses are not getting a lot of offers right now. So you don't have to compete with a million buyers going without inspections and all that. You can do all your inspections and you do not have a lot of buyers to compete with you in your offer. As a result of having little buyer competition, houses are selling at a discount right now. I'm going to go through some specific examples from the MLS, what's really selling right now in these areas, and I think you will be surprised by the discounts some people are getting. It's amazing what you can get if you just ask for it, but you got to be out there looking for it, and you got to know what you're looking for. Think about it this way. There's a lot of houses on the market. You only need to find one. A lot of agents aren't doing a whole lot right now, so you're going to be able to get a lot of attention from your agent. You also have time to do more financing opportunities than you did before. A few years ago, FHA, USDA loans, they just weren't moving because there were so many buyers that had cash and conventional financing. But now there aren't as many buyers, so you are going to have a lot more options with financing. I really do not see significant price drops coming. Two of the biggest factors in the price declines from the Great Recession were people had short-term loans, and when they refinanced, those rates went up really high and rents stayed low. So they could either pay their high mortgage or go rent a cheaper house down the street. We, as of now, the longer term loans, they are not having those balloon payments coming up, and they are not shooting up with interest rates. So there are not a whole lot of cheap options for rent either. So there's not many other opportunities for cheaper housing. And in general, it's hard to argue against inflation going up in the near future. Everything is getting more expensive. I don't think rents are going to get less expensive. So I do not see prices coming down for that. So additionally, if you follow this channel, I'm going to give you a lot of good tips on things to look for and areas to look at for wise investment decisions. So why is it a horrible time to buy? Interest rates are obviously not low right now. I do not see them going up significantly or down significantly, but they are high. Additionally, I only see modest appreciation coming for real estate in this area for the next few years. So if you are not planning to stay in a house for 5 years or so, it's probably not a good time to buy. The number one reason it could be a horrible time to buy right now is your specific financial situation. Every day in any market, good or bad, there are great deals being made and there are horrible deals being made. Additionally, a good deal at a bad time for you could be a horrible deal. So you need to have healthy cash reserves and income to pay for these real estate. I am not a financial advisor. I will not help you make that decision. So this is Investing in Georgia. I am Alan. If you learned something today or you just want to be extra nice, please like, comment, share, or subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Be very transparent with you. So we are going to put in the counties we are looking at. So we're going to put in Bartow County, Georgia. This is the FMLS. We're going to go to Cherokee County, Georgia. And we're going to put in Pickens County, Georgia. I am going to put in the active for 0 to 7 days. These are things that have been new to the market in the last 7 days, but we don't want to see everything. We just want to see everything under 400,000. What do we have? We have 49 matches, right? We can take a look at those. These are new within the last week, okay? These are all your properties. I'm not going to go into all of them. We had 300, 310s, 399, 249, etc. So now we're going to go back to criteria. Sorry about that. Zoom in right there. And I additionally apologize if you hear a snoring dog in the background. I am going to try to take that out in editing, but he's had a hurt paw and he is not chewing at it right now, so I am going to let that be. I'm going to let him, hopefully we can get that out though. All right, so I'm going to take that same 0 to 7. We're going to do closed in the past 7 days. All right. So what was that last 40 something? So a balanced market would mean we have the same number as buyers as sellers, right? These are the number of houses that are closing. Where do I? So now we're going to hit enter. How many do we got? 10. In the same exact county and timeline. So we have 4 times the number of closings as going on market. So if you are a buyer, it is an advantage to you. I didn't change anything. All I changed was whether we did the solds. Well, I do have detached only right there, so that doesn't count condos, but you get the idea. Addition, so if you have, so let's see how many have been expired in the last 7 days. 13 have expired. So these are more likely to expire than go closed. Let's take a look at over here. How about withdrawn? Meaning they just didn't, the people gave up on trying to sell it. Let's see results. 8. So that's 8 more that didn't sell for one reason or another. All right, so we have 43 that were active, right? Now, if we get into active under contract, so what I don't like about, so let's go to pendings. How about that? What is pending? What went pending this week? We got 43 or something new on market. 14 went pending. Now, you generally speaking, you go active under contract first, and then you go pending. There is some vagary in what everyone goes on these definitions, but generally speaking, when you're in your due diligence, it's active under contract, and when you actually go pending at the contingency periods are done is when you go to pending. So active under contract, these are ones that are signing under contract. So this would be indicative. Let's see, what are the results? We're going to be higher, right? 36. This is going to be more indicative of what one of the biggest issues we have with houses not going under contract, or going of houses dropping out after being on contract. All right, Cheeks, come on, you gotta wake up. You're snoring too much, okay? Good boy. Don't be snoring in my video. So this is 36. This is more balanced. So what we got is a lot of houses going on the market with your actives. They are getting under some contract. They're getting under contract at a decent pace. They are not going pending and closing. So another tip is, if you see a house you like and it goes under contract, the agent still has to, if you submit an offer to that house, they still have to submit it to the seller. So if that house goes out from under contract, you can be, if you're in contact with them, you can get on that before it hits the market again. What do you think about that? All right, so now let's go back out and Let's see what these houses are selling at a discount. So I'm going to go a little bit further. And let's see what we got in the last 2 weeks. Let's see, under $350,000. Let's go to results. All right, so I sorted these under $350,000 in the same county this time. And these are the ones that have closed in the last 2 weeks. So let's see what kind of discount these things are actually selling for. So let's get them all. So now we got 23 in the last 2 weeks. So we got this one, Brightwell Place, original list at $320,000. Spent 1 month on the market. They got $6,000 in closing costs. This one, $300,000, 2 weeks on the market. They got $10,000 in closing cost. This one, I don't think it's a bad example. Something's up with this one. $329,000. After 2 days, they took a cash off. They took an offer of $234,000. I don't know why that happened, but so this one, $350,000. They closed at $340 and $7,000 off additionally, so that's $333, I think. Here we got $286 on the market less than a week. They still got $3,500 off. $290,000 waited 48 days. They got $10,000 off. That's $320,000. They still got about $4,000 off because they went over price and they got $11,000 in closing costs. We're going to see some big ones coming up here, I imagine. So we got 339 was on the market just over a month. Went for 330, an additional 9,000. So that was $18,000 off. 319, 9 days on the market. They sold for $316 and $6,000 additionally off for closing costs. All right. And here we got 330 on the market for 10 days, $7,500 off. 299 spent 46 days on the market, and they sold for $285 and $8,000 additional closing costs. 10 days on the market, they got almost $6,000 off. 5 days on the market. Well, actually, this one went over. That went over. Oh, I remember that one. If you were following my videos on my weekly market update, you would have known about that one. All right, 269. 2 weeks on the market, ended up selling for $30,000 off almost. 339, 4 days on the market, got that price with $7,500 off. 324, $6,500 off in a week. 339, in 2 weeks they sold for $310,000. That's $29K off. 285, 21 days later, they got $10,000 and an additional $5,850 off. 344 asking. In 4 days, they took an offer for $330 and $9,000 in closing costs. So that's what a net of $320. That's what $25,000 off or so. Don't quote me on my math. I'm not a mathematician. 320 or 229 ended up selling for 215 in a month. 354 in 42 days. They sold it at 345 and $5,000 off, so a net of almost $15,000 off. I know it's getting a little bit long in the tongue. Look at, I'd saved one of the best for last. That one sold at basically price $365 on the market for 25 days, sold for $345 plus $20,000 in closing costs, so $325. So they got $40,000 off in 3 weeks. So just make offers. There aren't a lot of people out there. You just find the right person at the right time, you get the right deal. Try not to offend people, obviously, but offer what you think it's worth to you. And you might get a good deal, and they say they might be thrilled just to have any offer. So there you go.